What were you just saying you saw?
Not seen Clarence Hill, he came out just pretty much saying, Odell Beckham Jr., he prefers to be, a warm city. Not the cold weather coming off that ACL injury, trying to be somewhere they can kind of get in his flow a little bit. You know how the cold weather do anyway, but if you think about the teams that's involved, whether that's San Fran, Buffalo, the warm weather city, Texas, that's Cowboys, man. So pretty much the ball is in the Cowboys' court if they want to make that move.
Let me read this off to you real quick. That's terrific news, I think, because I do want to get your opinion. But you know how Micah was recruiting him earlier today? Pretty much Micah was like, man, OBJ, talk to me. Like, he replied back to him and said, you tell me, all my family on my daddy's side down there. I'm just trying to win wherever I go.
Let's go.
So I'm telling you
got
right
a family
now,
down there? Oh, man, let's go, man. Let's go. What you think?
What is this, his second ACL?
Second one.
That's
different
what makes
leg.
me nervous.
Different leg.
Now, I will say an ACL in 2022 is not what an ACL was in the year 2000. Right. To be honest with you, we don't know where his speed is. Like, I hope he hasn't lost a step. But I would take OBJ today, bro. What?
I mean, we don't need him to come in and be like a, OBJ of like old times, like going crazy right now. Right now, look, just come in. We'll give you time to get into your flow. You know what I mean? As long as we get you kind of up to speed by like, late December, January, we'll be all right. We ain't actually to be number one, maybe even not even number two right now. Just go ahead and fit into that slot role with Dak. And just, tell him where to go and tell him ease into things, man. I would take OBJ in a heartbeat. I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, no hesitation.
What do you think is a realistic like deal for OBJ? Like,
I mean,
multiple years.
Oh, I mean, if you kind of just see what he's been saying beforehand, I think he said he wants to go to a place where he can call home. He's tired of bouncing around, and even if he go through this ACL, maybe somewhere where he can go through it and progress and be with a team doctor and kind of work his way through this thing, not just sign right now and then at the end of next year he got to do this all over again. So I think,
right.
And not only that, he also came out and was like he wanted something comparable to what Michael Gallup got. So if you think about it, and the way they structure that deal, maybe we give him a lot of incentives or so. You know what I mean? Somewhere maybe in the $11 million range ballpark. You know what I mean? He wasn't willing to pay Amari Cooper that, but you paying Gallup and OBJ and close to $20 million, two receivers for the same price. That might be a little enticing, man. And maybe I'll take that.
I'll tell you like this. So million. I feel like what's that?
About 3 years, $33 million deal, something like that. Low incentives.
I think just listening to Uncle Jerry talk, I think he's really getting interested in this, and that OBJ is obviously interested. I think it makes sense. I hope it doesn't throw off any chemistry that Dak is building with his guys.
Scratch that.
But I think I think Odell has to be willing to allow a ripcord in his contract to where there won't be too much dead cap if he is not what he used to be.
Yeah, that's why I say incentives, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like if he...
I'm
sorry.
It's just really hard to give a guy a long-term deal coming off of an ACL. You know what I mean? Like, especially that he's never been in your system before.
I think you do something like kind of like what the Niners did with Jimmy G as a late. Like you just go ahead and you tell him, look, maybe I don't know if he would take a baseline of like, let's say $8 million, but tell him you can earn up to like 12.5 or 13 million if you hit 70 catches here, or if you get a certain amount of touchdowns, or if you play this percentage of snaps. You know what I mean? I don't see why not. And like you said, the only thing that kind of bothers me when Jerry is doing all this thing on the radio is like I feel like he'd be kind of just negotiating with himself at times. You know what I mean? Or let's say you're showing your hand to the Bills, or you're showing your hand, and you might just create a bidding war where maybe you could have just got the upper hand. Like that's the only thing that worries me. But if you think about it, you see Jerry come out, he's saying all the right things. Mike McCarthy, surprisingly or not, he spoke on it at a press conference where he was like, you know what I mean? As a guy I admire, he knows his talent level. Of course, he had to say, as far as our guys, though, I do like the guys with, company line. He don't want to just knock his guys that's in the building, nothing like that. But the fact that everybody is kind of speaking on it, I think says it's enough traction there that this thing can happen. All we need to do is just kind of just make this final push. And like you said, it seems like he's open to the idea of being in Dallas. It was one other player that came out and who was it? Dez. Dez and OBJ tight. So it's a lot of moving parts, man. Hopefully we can bring this thing together.
I do want to point out, I just looked it up. OBJ did just turn 30 a couple of days ago. So he's 30 years old. I think 2 ACLs. I mean, Jerry said, what did he say? I don't want to misquote him, but pretty much like he's willing to write whatever check to get back to the Super Bowl.
Man, Jerry be talking.
But with the moves that were made pre-deadline and the fishing around we were doing at the wide receiver position, what other options are available? I mean, maybe Will Fuller.
I don't want.
But he had that situation where his whole hand was crushed.
Yeah,
bro.
and then he was talking about retiring not too long ago, man. So
right.
when a guy, you don't even know if you want to play football or not. I think, I mean, like I said, OBJ wants to play. He got the drive, and then like we always talk about that dog in you. We know, I mean, obviously early in his career, people called it passion, whatever. But it's a guy that wants to win. He wants to win. He showed passion. He feel like he's the best on the field when he plays. Like, and then.
And
we don't talk about enough that leadership presence that Amari Cooper gave CeeDee Lamb. And maybe, getting a veteran guy who's been here and done that before. He's won a Super Bowl last year. He kind of knows what it takes. He's not really the diva as of late. I think, Cleveland, you can call it what you want. I think that was mostly Baker Mayfield or whatever. But I think in the Rams, coming in there late in the season, showing he could fit in with, I believe it was just like about, 12 games, 8 to 12 games. And maybe becoming a key contributor in that quicker time. And then, to be honest, if you didn't hurt, you had if you didn't get hurt, you had a Super Bowl MVP candidate. I think he would have won Super Bowl MVP if not,
Oh, absolutely. He was lighting it up before he went down. I do think too. So a few points that's worth pointing out. He tore his ACL in February. Gallup was in December, right?
Yeah.
So they're about 2 months apart. Obviously, different doctors probably did the surgeries, different rehab facilities. So Gallup returned 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
It's right around time. I believe the doctors came out and said, I believe at the end of this week he should be clear to go. So I think sounds like he's right around time where he can start doing, team activities and things of that nature. So he's close.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably at least 5 weeks from playtime, like on Sunday. Sunday. But I want to point out too, a 3-year, $33 million deal in Dallas is very different than New York when you talk taxes.
It's cold. It's cold in New York too. We talked about that cold weather. It's cold in New York, man.
And that turf, that MetLife turf, bro.
So
that ACL tearing turf over in MetLife Stadium. Speaking of which, it's off topic, but I think it was I forgot who it was, but it was a linebacker came out the other day pretty much talking about that turf and how the league needs to
I believe
take
it was
action
can't think of his name exactly, but a linebacker for the Packers. He was talking about that the Rashawn Gary ACL injury that happened. So
Devondre Campbell, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey man, look, Jerry, make it happen. Bring him to Dallas, man. Look, we always talk about going to get that ring, man. Go ahead, get you a guy, man. The NFC is wide open. You think about the AFC. The team that I thought was, I would say, the juggernaut over there, the Bills. They just lost to the Jets.
And we don't know what's happening with Josh
Allen. We see Kansas City look. I don't want to say they look very beatable against Tennessee. It's nobody that really scares you. And like you say about your boy Josh Allen, we don't know about the elbow injury. This thing could be wide open this year. So if you feel like you're close enough and you really believe in his team, go ahead and get you a guy. Just go ahead and mail it in. It's not like we asking you to give away the farm. You know how Steven is with his draft picks. And he's a little frugal when it comes to the money as well, but I think it's enough for both sides to make it out. I believe out of all the teams that's involved in this, we do have the most cap space. So it's in our court.